Welcome to part 2 of this Football Manager 2020 experiment where I have given a non-league club in England perfect facilities and perfect staff. If you missed part 1, make sure you go and check that out first and then come back and watch this part 2. So you join me in June 2027 and the club that we are interested in, Chelmsford City, are in League One, remember, because in part 1 they did extremely well to get promoted all the way to the Championship, but then they were relegated to League One at the end of part 1 and they failed to get promoted at their first attempt, which is a shame. They finished 7th, 6 points behind the playoffs. So why didn't they get promoted at the first attempt? Let's have a look then. Of course, they've still got all the perfect staff members. We've had to move them around a little bit. Mr. Perfect actually left for Derby County, remember, for under a day, but we managed to move him back. Some of the other staff members left at the end of their contract, but we've moved them back, and I am refreshing their contracts when required. Chelmsford City still a 2-star national reputation, not bad. Club captain Will Russ, who's probably the top goal scorer for the club in recent years. Vice captain Chris Beach Vaughan, who is one of the youth academy players. They've produced a lot of really good players, one of which is Andy Chambers, who interestingly has moved around. He started at Chelmsford, moved to Wigan, then went on loan, moved to Middlesbrough, signed for Sheffield Wednesday for £5 million before moving back to Chelmsford City. You could argue perhaps he failed. Perhaps he failed at a bigger team. His attributes, he's got 124 potential. He's almost reached that. I think he perhaps was just... There's a bit of overpaying going on from Sheffield Wednesday here, hoping it'd be a miracle, but it's not worked. It's good to see him back at Chelmsford City after all these years. The hot prospect is Reed Cole, who has really good potential, 148, goalkeeper. Keep an eye on him. He might turn into a future star for the club in this part 2. This is the current squad then. So the top goal scorer was actually Lee Ball, one of the regens who came from Bolton. Scored quite a few goals for the club now. Will Russ, second top goal scorer. Most assists, Andy Stockbridge, who came through the academy and has been a good servant to the club. But yeah, it wasn't good enough to get promoted, was it? Unfortunately. Crashed out in the second round of the Carabao Cup against Bolton. They reached the third round of the FA Cup, did they? I think so, yeah, but they lost against Stoke City. They reached the third round of the Leasing.com trophy. Actually reached the... Oh, they won it. They've won. They've won a competition, so it wasn't all bad this season. They've managed to win the Johnston's Paint Trophy. That's what I call it. That's what it always used to be known as in my eyes. So they beat Liverpool under 23, so that's not bad. Well done to Chelmsford City for winning that. Well done to Mr. Perfect and his backroom staff for winning a trophy. But they probably would have preferred to get promoted back to the Championship, let's be honest. Transfer-wise, they spent £600,000, but look at the money leaving the club. Dennis Hannigan going to Leeds United, 126 potential. He's almost reached that, to be honest. I feel like some of the players, I think a lot of clubs are now seeing Chelmsford City as the place to go for a bargain, not realising that not every single player has 150 potential. Because this guy, he's not going to be good enough for Leeds, is he? They're in the top flight now. He's not going to be good enough for the Premier League. Maybe that potential, perhaps that's dynamic. Do they change nowadays, these potentials, or is that set? It might be dynamic. It might increase. I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, look at all the money coming into the club. This will really benefit the club long term and probably short term as well. They should be able to spend a bit of money in the summer and hopefully go up to the Championship next season. But yeah, they've certainly sold quite a few players. Most expensive player coming in was Andy Chambers, who they re-signed, of course, and Cameron Cox as well. It's unusual for them to actually sign a regen. They've been mainly signing real-life players, sort of experienced players in their mid to late 20s. But perhaps they're going to start signing some young players and relying on their youth academy. Hopefully they'll be able to hold on to some of the young players as well. Playing a 4-1-4-1 again. Mr. Perfect's changed. It used to be 4-2-3-1. Since getting up to the Championship, he switched to this. It's not been quite as effective for him. Chelmsford City are back into the Championship. They had to do it via the playoffs this time, but the main thing is they are back in the Championship. 82 points this season. Not bad at all. Finishing behind Salford City and Bristol City. So 3 cities going up to the Championship this time around. In the playoffs, they defeated Shrewsbury 4-3 on aggregate, cracking tie that. And then in the final, they beat Reading at Wembley 1-0. So they've been to Wembley a few times now, haven't they? They've won a few competitions. May have noticed this then. 2.5-star reputation. I think that's gone up, hasn't it? Might be misremembering that. They were unable to retain their leasing.com trophy, crashing out in the second round, by the way. FA Cup, they got through, didn't they? But they were defeated by Aston Villa in the 4th round. Great season. Bit of a blip here, 4 defeats in a row, but they turned it around and managed to finish in the playoffs. And they're back up to the Championship. I'm absolutely delighted for them. I don't think Mr. Perfect left this season. No, he didn't. So that's good. He's still here with all his backroom staff. Transfer-wise, spent 550k. Most expensive player, Dan Ormsby. I recognise that name. I think he works at Sports Interactive because he's featured on a few of my saves over the years as Dan Ormsby. So he's kind of coded into the game as a regen. He's not a bad player, actually. Coming from Charlton, looks like a decent striker. Scored 21 goals this season, in fact. And another player coming from Charlton is this chap. Going out of the club, lots of players being sold again. I feel like they sell too many. Andy Stockbridge has been sold. That is a shame. Great servant. Really good player. He's gone to the Championship. Could have waited around and gone up with Chelmsford City in the end. But unfortunately, he has left the club. Chris Beach Vaughan has also left the club. That's a real shame, I must say. Let's have a look then at the current squad. So top goal scorer was Dan Ormsby with 20. Lee Ball still banging in the goals. Looks like Will Russ has left. Is that his name? Yeah. Oh, he's gone to Bradford. 170k. So they sold him as well, which is a bit of a shame. Who was the chap at the start of the save that was really good? Fennell or Ferrell, something like that. Don't know what happened to him. Oh, that's going to take too long to look through. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Maybe I can't even remember his name. I found him, but he doesn't exist in the game. Andy Fennell. He must have retired, which is bizarre because he was really good in the first couple of seasons. Had quite a bit of potential, but he's just vanished off the game, which is a real shame. Anyway, they're still going with the 4-1-4-1 formation, interestingly. Do you feel like they'd be a bit better off going with a bit more of an attacking formation? But they've been promoted, and that is the main thing. Reed Cole's still the hot prospect, by the way, playing for the youth team. Glorious news. Chelmsford City have survived in the Championship. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 2 points above Bristol City, so it was very close. So Bristol City, look at this, Salford, Chelmsford and Bristol City, the 3 teams going up. 2 of them survived, just about. And Bristol City, the champions of League One, go down. So that's a bit of a shock. But I'm so happy that they've managed to stay up. That is crucial. They might be able to build on that and become an established Championship team now. Let's hope they do. Oh, a new hot prospect for Chelmsford City, by the way. 126 potential. Don't know if that means the goalkeeper's left. Hopefully not. Oh no, he's in the first team. He's the 3rd choice goalkeeper these days. That's brilliant. Let's have a look then at the team. Dan Ormsby, top goal scorer again. Andy Chambers was 2nd top goal scorer. He's been at the club. Oh yeah, I think he's the record signing, to be honest. Assist-wise, Norrington Davies, who is the club captain, I do believe. It's not particularly inspiring statistics this season because it was a tough year, but let's have a look at the results. See how they got on in the cup competition as well. Crashed out in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. FA Cup lost in the 3rd round against Watford. There's a lot of defeats there, particularly the second half of the season. They've only really just survived, haven't they? If we have a look at the season on the whole. I mean, to be fair, they were around about this position for most of the season, weren't they? Let's have a look at their transfers. They spent a bit of money this year, £2.1 million. Record signing is Jamie Flynn. Signed from West Brom for £1.4 million, a central midfielder. They also bought a real-life West Ham player, Ajibola Elise, for 220k. Going out the team, once again, loads of money leaving. Dean Springer moving to Spurs. Could rise to £13 million. 157 potential. He is really good. Look at 16 on crossing. He's got good physicals. He might be a star one day. And Chelmsford City have produced him. They can be proud of that. Moving for £4.2 million. But like I said, possibly rising to 13 million. Graham White also leaving. He's not one of the youth academy players, to be fair. Jordan Cox, that could rise to £1 million. So he's a decent looking defender. 21 years old now though. 111 current. So he's not amazing. I think they've done fairly well to get that amount of money. Let's have a look at the finances actually. Plenty of money in the bank. That's good to see. They need that money. They need to become an established Championship team and then hopefully can build on that and get promoted to the top flight. The training and youth facilities I did increase back to 20, by the way, when they got stuck in League One. They've dropped back down to 19, but the other three things are still on 20. And if we look at their attendances, they're filling the stadium now, as you'd expect. Now a championship club, they are filling the stadium most of the time, which is great news. If we just look at the attendances, average attendance over the years has certainly gone up, as you can see. It did get, is this when they got to the championship? It dropped back down when they were in League One, but it's back up to their record average attendance this season. These are the highest gate receipts they've received, so it's usually FA Cup games that are really high when they're filling the stadium. Most league goals is Will Russ. I thought it would be. It's interesting looking at this. Highest transfer fee, Jamie Flynn. Highest transfer fee received, Dennis Hannigan, going to Leeds. How's he getting on? Moved to Brighton for £2.2 million. A bit of a mistake for Leeds there, wasn't it, signing him for that much? Right then, let's move on to the next season. Lovely. A second season in a row that they have survived, and quite comfortable this time. 8 points above the drop zone. Salford City finished bottom, by the way. 50 points for Chelmsford City. That's nice to see. Mr. Perfect still in charge. He has moved a couple of times, though, over the last couple of seasons. I forgot to say, last season he moved to Bournemouth for a few days, and then I moved him back again. And this year he moved back to Derby for a couple of days before I had to move him back. I'm kind of surprised he's not moved to a bigger club anyway, like, you know, top quality Premier League, Champions League team, because he's the best manager in the world. I think it's probably because of his reputation, but as he progresses up the leagues, he's more likely to try and get poached. He's on a pretty big contract now, and I have inserted into his contract clause that, oh, it's vanished. I did tick that and put 100, but it seems to have gone. So I'm not sure what's happened there. To try and prevent teams from signing him, but never mind. So, how did they get on results-wise this season? So, crashed out in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Yeah, lots of defeats here, as you'd expect from a team finishing in the bottom half of the Championship. Crashed out in the third round of the FA Cup. Yeah, it was a sort of up and down season, wasn't it? Not a huge number of wins, but enough to keep them up, that is for sure. Transfer-wise, spent £2.7 million. Joint record signing, Egan Riley from Bristol City. Signed someone for 500k as well. And 205k, Aaron Doherty, Irish left midfielder. So a bit of money spent, but not enough really if you want to compete in the Championship. You need to spend lots of money. Going out of the club, £9.25 million worth of players. On Yango, going for 3.6. That's a really good profit. I mean, I think that's what that helps having really good backroom staff and scouts, for example. They can find bargains and then sell them on. The financial aspect of this club is brilliant. They have done so well. What a name this is, by the way. Nagor Amir Nuurkatan, who is a Chelmsford City player, or was, came through the academy, has moved to Newcastle now. Not the best player ever. So they're just selling these players for small amounts of money, but together they obviously are quite a sum. And yeah, the club's in a good position financially. It's not amazing, it's not rich, but it's secure. And I think that sums up Chelmsford City in this experiment. They are secure. They've done very well to get up to the Championship, and it's been a very well managed club. But that's what you'd expect. They've gone back to a 4-2-3-1, by the way. Dan Ormsby leading the line, top goal scorer again. He's a good striker, isn't he? Let's have a look at his hidden attributes. 117 current ability, not bad. Started at Charlton. So some decent players there. Andy Chambers, second top goal scorer. Assist-wise, Zach Gillisonen, who was signed last year from Blackburn. Average of rating from the players that actually played. Andy Chambers again. He's done quite well, hasn't he? Player that they obviously produced at the start and has returned to the club and played extremely well for them. It's good to see. Another solid season for Chelmsford City. The third year in a row that they have survived in the Championship, and every year they've gradually improved by 2 places each time as well. And they're up to 56 points this season, 17th place. Not bad at all. They've done really well. And if they can continue on this trajectory, they'll eventually get promoted, won't they? So, of course, Mr. Perfect's still in charge. Didn't leave this season, by the way, so that's good to see. Still 2.5-star reputation, secure finances. I'll just quickly show you that. There we go, 20 million in the bank. Plenty of transfer budget as well, which they don't tend to spend. Still got really good facilities. I think if they get back to the top flight, or up to the top flight for the first time, we'll reward them by improving all the facilities up to 20 on everything. Transfer-wise, once again, loads of money coming out. Spending money as well. New record signing, Antonio Jones. Started at Arsenal, signed for £2 million. Looks good. Also, Philip Roberts for £1.7 million. Started at Blackburn. And another £1 million player, Chris Andrews, for £1.2 million from Barnsley, who started at Liverpool. And he looks really good. 12 goals this season. Really like him. Going out of the club, Brandon Hunter for £8 million. Now, he didn't start here, but what another brilliant piece of business in the transfer market from Chelmsford City. Signed on a free, sold for £8 million to Birmingham. That is fantastic. Excellent stuff. Andy Chambers as well has left again for 4.7. I mean, this is just brilliant. Obviously, they created this player. They didn't get much money when they actually sold him the first time. But I imagine there might have been some clauses in there where they got some money. But they signed him for 650k and they've sold him for a really good profit. It's been really good for them in the last few years and convinced another team to buy him for a significant fee. They've sold Gilsonen as well. In fact, is that a profit? It is. Massive profit. Really good. Jack Scott has left the club. He's a player that started in the academy as well. He's got 125 potential. So absolutely brilliant pieces of business. And eventually they'll accumulate enough money to sign some good players and hopefully compete at the top of the Championship. That's the aim anyway. Dan Ormsby, by the way, top goal scorer again. So someone might come in for him soon. Alan Telfer, most assists this season, signed for £180,000 in the summer. So a good bit of business there because he's performed really well for them. And the highest average rating was Stuart Nicholson, who was signed for 120k. Only played 18 games, but really good average rating there. So that's interesting, isn't it? Oh, this is fascinating. I'm really enjoying this experiment. I'm just enjoying the nitty-gritty side of things. And it's just, I like when something works and you can obviously see the evidence of Mr. Perfect and the team around him and also the facilities. Because, I mean, has Dan Ormsby improved whilst he's been at the club, for example, from the training facilities that are at the club? I don't know. Is there a way to see? We can't see, can we? We can't see how much he has improved by unless you go back a few minutes in the video and look how he was. I would say he has improved just looking at him, but I'm not really 100% sure. They must be having a positive impact, the training facilities, that is for sure. And also the really good staff members at the team as well. Must be having a positive impact, surely. Well then, let's see if they go up 2 more places next season. Oh, I forgot to look at their schedule just to see how they did in the cup competitions. So Carabao Cup 3rd round, FA Cup 3rd round. Nothing interesting there, unfortunately. Well, here we go. It's May 2032. Chelmsford City have finished 6th in the Championship, their 4th successive season in the Championship, of course. And guess what? They've reached the playoff final. They're going to be taking on Everton in the playoff final after miraculously defeating Birmingham, who finished 3rd, by the way, and very unlucky not to get promoted automatically. This is magnificent. What a brilliant improvement from last year. Look how many places they've gone up and how many more points they've received. Excellent stuff. 20 wins, 13 draws, 13 defeats, plus 9 goal difference. Mr. Perfect's had a blinder. And we're going to watch the playoff final. I think that is the perfect way to end part 2. Regardless of if they go up or not. I think this is a good place to end it. And part 3, I have to do a part 3. I'm really intrigued by this experiment, and I hope there's lots of you that are also intrigued by it. All the staff members still here, by the way. Mr. Perfect didn't leave this season either, maybe because he's having a successful season in the Championship. This is the current squad. I'll go through that in a second before the match, I suppose. But once again, money flowing in and out of the club. They spent £3.6 million on a player, which is their record transfer. So they're starting to spend some of the money they are receiving for all their players, which is really good to see. They've got an Irish international now, signed for £2 million from Rotherham. They've got a Welsh international, signed for £1.7 million from Swansea. So signing plenty of players and leaving the club, £13 million. Reed Cole, I said to watch out for him. He's the young English goalkeeper, and he's been capped by England. This is incredible. Chelmsford City have produced a player that has got into the England team Only 129 current ability, not like the best goalkeeper ever. Maybe England aren't blessed with goalkeepers at the moment. He's got 148 potential though. He's only 21, and as a goalkeeper, he probably should reach that, considering he's only 21. He did play for Chelmsford City. He was the main goalkeeper, only for one full season really. The first season he made 19 appearances. Last year, 50 appearances on all competitions in the Championship. That convinced Aston Villa to spend £13 million on him, and he has been capped this year, which is brilliant. I wonder if there's any other players in the England team from Chelmsford City. Obviously not. They haven't played for Chelmsford City. If there's any names that you recognise, then put them in the comment section below. But obviously, we've got. Oh, he's not actually in the team. He is capped by England, isn't he? 2 caps. Yeah. When did he make his debut? Against Serbia, 2032, back in March. But he's not currently in England. Maybe there was like a goalkeeping crisis and all these goalkeepers were injured or something. I don't think there's any other Chelmsford City players here. But I think eventually they will produce. Oh, Matt Mills. Matt Mills. Oh, this is unbelievable. I remember it, Matt Mills. Yes. I mean, Chelsea have played an absolute blinder here. I mean, Burnley signed him for 210k, but then Chelsea got him for 250k. And he's been signed by Bayern Munich last season for £31.5 million. And he's reached his potential, 158. This is what I mean. 158 is actually really good potential. It's a £31 million player. So Chelmsford City are producing these sorts of players that are going on and being sold for £31.5 million. He's got 20 caps for his country. That is sensational. Well done, Chelmsford. And yes, Chelmsford have done some brilliant business, signing players for free and for low fees and selling them on. It's unfortunate that they couldn't hold on to him for longer, but they were in the National League at the time. But just imagine this, a National League player coming through a National League academy, signing for Bayern Munich, going on and earning 20 caps for England is just fantastic. Really is. I'm pleased I spotted him. There might be someone else hidden away there. I don't know. I'm pleased by that. Okay, where were we? Reed Cole, yes. So, other players being sold. Philip Green, who wasn't through the academy, but once again, excellent piece of business from Chelmsford City. What a negotiator they have. The director of football, Mr. Perfect Director, is just sensational. Alan Telfer has been sold, a player signed from for 225, and once again profit. Brilliant. Just in a perfect way. I like this. It really pleases me, the amount of profit that they are making. A player through the academy being sold for 700k. Excellent stuff. So this season then, they got off to a really good start. Got through to the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. The first defeat in the Championship wasn't until the end of August. Quite a few games played before that. Then a few defeats around here. They got to the 4th round of the FA Cup, lost against Leicester City. And yeah, second half of the season was reasonably good and enabled them to finish 6th. And they're in the playoff final, which is fantastic. This is the season. So yeah, they started off really well, dropped off a bit out of the playoffs, and only made it back in on the last day of the season, thanks to... Where am I? Let's go back. Thanks to a win against Swansea City. They must have been relying on other teams losing as well to get up to that 6th place. So they won that. They then drew against Birmingham and beat them away from home. Excellent stuff. And they're into the playoff final. So let's have a look at the squad then that has managed to get them here. Currently 2.5-star reputation, by the way. Just have a quick look. Finances, very healthy. Facilities, very good. They might be going up this season. That's the tactic they're deploying. Let's just have a quick look at the most important players this season. Stuart Nicholson, 21 goals this season. Signed for £120,000 from Bristol Rovers. Absolute bargain because he's good. 16 dribbling, good physicals, decent striker attributes there. Worth £7.25 million. Brilliant signing, and he's done very well. Lewis Dobbin on loan from... He's on loan at Bristol Rovers, so that's misleading. Ben Waters was the second top goal scorer. He was signed for 450k. Another really good dribbler. I think Mr. Perfect likes technically gifted players. This one as well. Wow, he looks good. Chris Andrews, £1.2 million from Barnsley. I like the look of him a lot. But he's not in the team, strangely. Assist-wise, Stuart Nicholson up there. Chris Dudulu, great name, who Probably came through the academy. Yes, he did. He's only really got into the first team this season. I really like this. This is almost like playing Football Manager because I've put such a perfect backroom staff in. They're playing the game how they should be. Signing bargains, producing an amazing academy. Obviously, we did that for them. And just producing all these amazing players. I just love it. Obviously, I love Regions. What were my Region Rovers saves, which I've really enjoyed. I just love this aspect of Football Manager. I'm getting a bit excited. It's a bit sad, really. Anyway, yeah, let's watch this. Oh, I just want to see the hot prospect. 130 potential. Key player is Stuart Nicholson. Captain these days is Ken Lovett, who is an academy player. Chelmsford born and bred, probably. Maybe not, actually, because they've got such a wide range, haven't they? Pitsy. So he's from Essex, anyway. Here we go, then. Chelmsford City versus Everton. Let's get on with this. Obviously, Everton are the favourites, having finished 4th. Let's have a quick look at their striker. Belgian international. Oh, a Belgian international in the Championship, worth £42 million and in 66k a week. Compared to our Stuart Nicholson. Of course, we're supporting Chelmsford City. Even you Everton fans watching this, you've got to support Chelmsford City for this. This is a parallel universe where you're a Chelmsford City supporter, remember. At £7.25 million, £8,500 a week. Everton are very strong. Oh my! What are they paying players in the Championship? An Ecuadorian international. Willock, Joe Willock, who's got caps for England, plenty of caps for England. Oh dear, how have our boys got any chance? But with Mr. Perfect times 20 on the bench, unfortunately they can't come off the bench and cause carnage, but they're going to be managing from the sidelines in a perfect way. Let's go. It's Wembley. It's Chelmsford City versus Everton. I'm excited. In their claret. Brilliant colour. Let's speed this up. It's ridiculously slow. Oh no. First chance for Everton already, and it's brilliantly defended. Crossed back in and tipped over the bar by our goalkeeper. I just realised we'll put it to key. We don't want to watch too many highlights, do we? Let's get on with this. Willock to take the corner. Crosses it in and easily held by Phillips in goal. We haven't looked at Phillips. Here he is. Dave Phillips. Not the best goalkeeper in the world. 110 current ability. He's got potential. Come through the academy as well. Been on loan at Oldham. Wheel him in, boys. Wheel them in. Here come Everton. Jabrain round the back. Oh no, this is a chance. Near post cleared. Corner to Chelmsford City. This might be the best opportunity really for Chelmsford City. Set pieces. That's crossed. This is the first time we've got to see Mr. Perfect style of play implemented as well, haven't we? Here's Lovett. Out wide to Shaw. Into Lovett. Back to Shaw. Just passing it around patiently, and that's disappointing. Losing the ball. And look at this guy. He looks fast. Here's Tenorio. And he's had the shot. It's tipped over by Phillips. He's been busy so far, hasn't he? It's weird not being able to control anything. Just watching a match. I just feel like, especially as I feel like I'm managing Chelmsford City indirectly, I should have some sort of control, but I don't. It's a shame. At least the Chelmsford lads are looking inspired. A few nervous and anxious players. Oh no, they've focused now suddenly, all the Everton players. It's gone quiet in this first half now. 2 minutes until half time. And Chelmsford City have possession. It's back to Phillips, who, contemplating life, passes it to Shaw. This is very slow. We don't have vertical tiki-taka nonsense. It's just patient build-up. Here comes Tamori. Easy save for Phillips, but that's the first clear-cut chance of the game. Now we know at half-time. That's okay. It's a good start. Can work on this. This is a boring second half, but Chelmsford are looking inspired. And now they're looking frustrated, and some of them are motivated. It's a mixed bag at the moment. This is a ridiculously boring second half. Maybe I should have left it on extended. Although they probably wouldn't have been very interesting highlights, to be honest. Here's Lovett. Into Ryan. Is this a chance? Back to Lovett. We need at least a half chance for Chelmsford City today. Ryan. Lovett. Once again, they're just not really sure what to do with it, but it's out wide. We've got a bit of space here with Roberts. Roberts into the box. And it's crossed in. And it's headed in by Stuart Nicholson, the top goal scorer. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Chelmsford City, as it stands, are going up to the Premier League, the Promised Land, the top flight, whatever you want to call it. And it's a header from Stuart Nicholson. They just didn't look any danger to start with. But then Roberts marauded into the box. The defender didn't really want to make a tackle. The cross was good and the header was good. Now can they hang on? If they can, Mr. Perfect's pulled off a defensive masterclass against this very strong Everton team, and I think they're going to do it. They're going up to the top flight. This is unbelievable. Chelsea City are in the Premier League. Mr. Perfect has led them to glory. There he is. Just a bog standard suit, black suit. That's Mr. Perfect for you. No, he is perfect, but you know, he keeps it simple. Absolutely brilliant. Philip Roberts, man of the match. Is he related to Dave? What am I talking about? Roberts, Phillips, they're completely different names. I'm getting confused because it's Phillips and Philip. Wow, what an achievement. 60% possession as well, really good. What a journey it has been for Chelsea City in this experiment. Of course, they were promoted in that first season, spent 3 seasons in the Vanarama National League before going up 3 times in a row, getting relegated from the Championship, and then we started today's video 7th in League One. Promoted via the playoffs, 3 solid seasons in the Championship, just about surviving, and then suddenly scraping into the playoffs. And the 6th team always seems to do well in the playoffs. They don't always win it, but they tend to have that momentum, and they've beaten Birmingham against all odds and beaten Everton against all odds, and it's going to be little old Chelsea City in the Premier League next season. They are going to have to spend some of that money. Hopefully they'll continue to be brilliant in the transfer market and pull off some incredible bargains, but also sell some of the players for inflated fees, especially now they're in the Championship. I'm looking forward to it. So that's going to be part 3. We're going to see how Chelsea City, with Mr. Perfect and all his staff, get on in the top flight. I am going to improve as a reward. We're going to boost the facilities back to 20. I'm going to make sure all of the Mr. Perfects have long contracts as well. They've got a stadium that's suitable for the Premier League as well, which is really useful. I think it's I'm hoping that I've actually given it the correct size. 12.5 seater, 12,500 seater. Maybe there isn't a rule. I thought there was a rule, but then again, isn't Bournemouth Stadium too small? Yeah, 12.5. So I've done that right. Now Bournemouth have increased their stadium, so it will be the smallest stadium in the Premier League. Blimey, look at Old Trafford. It's been expanded to 91,000. That's incredible. Anyway, I've gone a bit off topic there. Chelsea City will be in the Premier League in part 3. Hope you're looking forward to it. If you are, remember to hit that like button. Be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, enjoy FM20. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.